What is going on, everyone? Welcome to Therapy on Two Wheels. Today I'm going to be teaching you about trail braking, when and how you can actually use it in your daily riding. Let's jump in. All right, so let's talk first about what trail braking actually is, why you would use it, and who should be using trail braking. I'll start off first by saying that trail braking is not going to be for beginner riders. This is the first time you've been on a bike, you're just starting to ride motorcycles, you're really not going to want to try trail braking because there's so many things that are going to be going on in your brain at the same time that trail braking should be the last thing that you're thinking about. For beginner riders, as you're coming up to a turn, you're going to want to slow down, look where you want to go, press the bike to where you want to lean to, whether it's right or left, and then start rolling on the throttle as you're coming out of the corner. Trail braking is going to be a little bit different. Trail braking is one of those more advanced features or something that you can work up to, but it's not something that you should begin with when you're starting to learn how to ride motorcycles. So for example, here I'm going to make this right turn coming up. It's just a normal 90-degree right turn. Because as I'm coming up to this turn, if I'm a beginner rider, I want to be slowing down as I'm coming into this turn to make sure that I basically get to maybe 15 miles per hour. I'm going to go down in the first gear here. So I'm going to be making this turn pretty slow. And I don't have any braking going on right now on my right hand or on my shifter on my foot. So that's for beginner motorcycle riders. You're going to slow down first. You're going to look where you want to turn. You're going to press the bike, lean into that turn, and then start rolling on the throttle once you get out of the turn. Now, trail braking, for example, if I'm going too fast into this corner up here, I can actually have my finger on the brake to slow me down as I'm turning. And that's a weird thing for a lot of beginner riders to understand, because you always get taught, keep your fingers off of the brake when you're in a turn, because if you are pressing too hard, that is going to cause the bike to either lose too much speed too quickly, you might lock up the tires. If you don't have enough grip, or you're going too slow, or you have too much of a lean angle as you're going into a turn, it's going to cause you to likely slide, and it's going to be causing an accident if you don't understand how to use trail braking effectively. So for example, let's say that I'm coming up to this corner, it's coming in a little too fast. I can still keep my hand on the throttle, put a little bit of pressure on that brake just to slow me down enough to be able to go into that lane. I'm in Texas. I don't have a lot of curvy roads out here, so it's hard to show you some great examples of what trail braking can do when you're in curvy situations. So I'm going to see if I can find a couple of roads up here just riding around to give you a good example. All right, so to show you an example of what trail braking is, I'm just going to use this left-hand turn here. Let's say I'm going a little bit too fast on this turn, and I need to make sure I slow down enough. I can start slowing down here, downshift, keep on my brake, and I can keep my hand on that brake through the turn and then start to accelerate out afterwards. So I didn't take my hand off that brake throughout that entire turn until I got to a point where I was almost straight up and down. The same thing here, if I'm coming in too quick to this turn, I will start braking right before I get into that turn and then keep my hand on the brake as I'm going through. The entire time you can see I'm pulling down on that brake. I'm not sliding out, I'm not stalling, I'm just going through that turn with my finger on the brake. Now, a lot of times too with trail braking, you're going to be gradually releasing that brake as well. So if I come up here, I'm going to start brake, and then I'm going to start releasing that brake as I get into that turn. So trail braking is going to be beneficial for really tight turns, especially, let's say here, I'm going to brake, and then gradually release off of it. So let's say there's an example here. I'm coming up to this left-hand turn. I'm going a little bit too quickly into that. I'm going to brake, hold on to that brake, and gradually release as I come through that turn. Now, this is something that you want to start out slow and start out with very light pressure on the brake when you're starting to use trail braking, and then you can get a little bit more pressure, especially as you get better lean angles. So if I'm coming up here, I'm gonna have a little bit more pressure because I'm going too fast, get into that lean, and then slowly start releasing it as I'm about halfway into that corner, and then I start throttling on the way out. So that is my beginner's guide to how to trail brake on a motorcycle. Comment down below if you have additional comments for any new riders that are going to be learning how to trail brake as they advance in their motorcycling. And hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell if you want to see future videos, and I'll see y'all in the next one.